What's in my crypto portfolio? Well, a lot of different things because I'm invested in many different projects, some for the short term, medium, or long term. Now, this video is going to cover my top 5 long-term crypto investments, and you're probably wondering, is this just another video with Bitcoin and Ethereum listed in it? Yes, it is, because those are pretty good long-term investments in my opinion. They have a lot of upside still, even at current prices, and we're going to get into that in this video. Because if you're going to invest in something, especially for the long term, you want to understand what its long-term potential could be. And that's something we're going to cover in this video. We're going to look at my top 5 long-term crypto investments. These are all blue chip cryptocurrencies. They are all in the top 20 listed. And among the top 20, these are the top 5 that I think have the highest potential over the next 5 years. Because I have a lot of different crypto bags, but I also want a bag of cryptocurrency where I don't want to worry about it, I don't want to have to read too much, and I'm just invested in it for the long term, and that's what these are. By no means do I think you'll make money in cryptocurrency, so that's the warning. You're very likely going to lose money unless you understand the risks and you do your research and you're comfortable with what you're investing in, because it's very risky, it's very volatile. Like, something bad could happen and it can affect everyone in the market. And that's what we saw in 2022. Even though some projects had revenue, they had good fundamentals, one bad news event can take down the entire market. Now, that's my warning. This is not financial advice. This is just educational material and me sharing my top 5 crypto investments among the blue chips. These are the things I'm holding long term. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Dan. I make crypto content that's easy to understand for the regular person, because crypto can be very complicated and I want to be able to break that down so you can understand it and you can get some perspective about what you're dealing with, what you're potentially investing in, and maybe you should avoid it, because most of the cryptocurrencies you should avoid. And if that sounds awesome, feel free to subscribe, like the content, comment, engage with it, because that's always good for my ego. Yeah, that's basically it. Now, with that out of the way, let's dive in. Number 1, in no particular order, BNB. BNB Chain, which stands for Build and Build. Previously known as Binance Coin or Binance Smart Chain, the BNB Chain ecosystem is just massive. You can compare BNB Chain to the Amazon.com of cryptocurrencies. They do pretty much everything. They create this ecosystem where they can onboard users through their centralized exchange, Binance.com or Binance US, and then those users can get onboarded into their DeFi ecosystem, BNB Chain, because that is a chain, that is a blockchain. Much like Ethereum, where you can run decentralized applications, you can run DeFi, games, and any type of application you can build on Ethereum, you can build it on BNB Chain. Now, the key differences between BNB Chain and Ethereum is that BNB Chain has faster transactions, cheaper transactions, and is more centralized. That means there are less validators, there is less decentralization, and that's actually a weakness, but by their growth and how many people are using it, people don't really mind, and that's actually worked out really well. And if we take a look at the roadmap, we can see that they plan on making transactions faster and cheaper. They are going to improve the decentralization of their network. They're also working on sidechains and ZK rollups. That's just like other things that can support the network and makes those transactions faster and cheaper. This is pretty much what all the layer 2 blockchains are doing for Ethereum by making it faster and cheaper to use, so that the next generation of blockchain users don't have these cost hurdles, they don't have to wait, and it just makes things easier. Now, we also want to look at how many people are actually using the BNB Chain blockchain. And you can see that the lion's share of all transactions, at least in the past month, 3 months, or year, has been with BNB Chain. So if we dive into the numbers a little bit more, you can see that BNB Chain on March 2nd did 1 million transactions, and among all the major blockchains, BNB Chain, Polygon, Phantom, Ethereum, Moonbeam, and 4 others, BNB Chain was responsible for 2/3 of those transactions. And if we jump into DeFi Llama, you can see that Binance Smart Chain is in 3rd place right after Tron. So Ethereum is in 1st place for their ecosystem. Tron, I think that's mostly because people use USDT on the Tron network, and it's not because a lot of people are building there. But you can see that with Binance Smart Chain, they have the 2nd most protocols out there, and they have almost $5 billion worth of TVL, that's total value locked, onto their network. And the value of BNB Chain comes from their ecosystem. They have the centralized crypto exchange, Binance, bringing in users, and then they can bring those users over into DeFi onto the BNB Chain network. Now, let's talk about the BNB Chain coin, BNB. That has a lot of value for users of the centralized exchange, where it provides discounts on trading fees, it unlocks special benefits, and on the DeFi side, you need the BNB coin to process any transaction. So if you're on Ethereum, if you want to run a transaction, it's going to cost you ETH. On BNB Chain, if you're going to run a transaction, you're going to need the BNB coin. Now, we could do a deep dive of BNB, but that would take a long time because it's a massive ecosystem. And let's just jump into the tokenomics. BNB started with 200 million coins, and they're working their way down to 100 million. As of the making of this video, they're at 157 million, so they still have quite a few coins to burn. And the burning of BNB coins is automatic. With every transaction that happens on BNB Chain, a small portion of that transaction gets burned. So right now, their tokenomics are deflationary, and they can always still change things up in the future if they want to create more value for users. But at the moment, there are a lot of different ways to use the BNB coin, and it does serve the Binance ecosystem as a whole. So that's why there's a lot of value in BNB Chain, and that's why I think it's still going to be around 5 years from now. Number 2, Polygon, coin name Matic. Now, Polygon is an Ethereum scaling solution. It makes Ethereum transactions faster and cheaper. And at the moment, Polygon uses a sidechain, but they will soon be launching their ZK EVM, that's their zero knowledge Ethereum virtual machine, and that's just going to help them scale up their network to support even more transactions at a fast rate. Now, ZK EVM, I know it's going to get a little technical here, is a competitor to optimistic rollups. That's what you're seeing with Arbitrum, Optimism, Boba Network, Chain, which is launching soon. And there is going to be a lot of competition when it comes to the Ethereum layer 2 space. But I think the biggest value that Polygon has is their partnerships. Now, this isn't a complete list of all the partnerships that Polygon has, but their most notable ones are Reddit, the Walt Disney Company, Adidas, NFL, Starbucks, and Meta. And through these partnerships, that's where I see the true value of Polygon, because you're going to have all the users of these businesses like Reddit, Disney, Starbucks, all in the Polygon ecosystem. Now, they can easily jump to other ecosystems when you're in crypto, but all the users are already there. They don't want to move to another ecosystem. And if Polygon does a good job onboarding these people, they create great products for them to use, then Polygon has a lot to gain from network demand. Because to use the Polygon network, you have to pay for transactions using Matic. And if you have a lot of people that want to run transactions on Matic, you're gonna need a lot of those coins. So as demand goes up, price goes up. Now that is just my prediction. If Polygon does a bad job at these partnerships, well, another blockchain could potentially come in and fill that void. But right now, Polygon is the best when it comes to creating these partnerships and building an ecosystem. So we'll see. So right now I am invested in Polygon long term, but if all these partnerships are a disaster, I might have to trade Polygon in for something else. $7 trillion. That's how much transaction value is enabled on the Chainlink network. Chainlink TVE is calculated by taking the sum of the USD value associated with each transaction, utilizing price feeds since the start of 2022, currently covering Arbitrum, Avalanche, BNB Chain, Ethereum, Phantom, Gnosis Chain, Hiko Chain, Metis, Moonbeam, Moonriver, Optimism, and Polygon as of February 14, 2023. So a lot of chains are using Chainlink. Chainlink. It is a service for all blockchain applications, and you can kind of think of it as the AWS of blockchain. It provides a lot of services to all the decentralized applications out there, and their most popular feature is data oracles. That allows a blockchain application to use real-world data and a whole lot of other stuff. And then taking a look at the products, we have market and data feeds. These are known as data oracles because they bring information from the real world onto the blockchain. Then there's functions, which is actually a new product. Chainlink Functions securely connects the world's APIs to Web3. This would enable developers to connect their smart contracts to any data source, ranging from public or password-protected APIs to IoT devices and enterprise systems. Automation. Chainlink Automation enables Web3 developers to seamlessly automate smart contracts in a decentralized manner. So this is what we're seeing with the next generation of blockchain, where actions can automatically be triggered through automation. Then taking a look at Chainlink's products, they have market and data feeds. You would use this if you're using a decentralized exchange or something in DeFi, that's where it's important. They have functions, which is something with automation, and then actual automation, VRF, that's their verifiable tamper-proof random number generator for blockchain gaming and NFTs. So let's say you're running a lottery, you're running a poker game, you're running anything that needs randomization, you're going to want to use their VRF. Then you have proof of reserves. So if you are an exchange, you want to reveal that you have all your funds, but you don't want to reveal where those funds are. So Chainlink's proof of reserves helps you show that. Then you have cross-chain communication. This is a global open source standard for building secure cross-chain applications. Technical, I know, but what it really is interoperability as a service. Chainlink makes it possible for your blockchain application or service to be interoperable with any blockchain that exists now or that could exist in the future. As long as they onboard it, you don't have to deal with the technical stuff of creating bridges and risking that security because Chainlink is going to do all that for you. And then if we look at the statistics for Chainlink and what they did in just the last week, over 70 million feed updates, over 200,000 VRF requests, so there are applications using that service, over 170,000 direct requests, over 11,000 automation upkeeps, over 129,000 in link rewards, over $175,000 in gas spent. And the number we need to look at the bottom here is there are 1,661 feeds. These are 1,661 different services using Chainlink. And if you want to use any of Chainlink's services, you have to pay for those services using the Link token. So if you want to see the Link price go up in the future, there needs to be more demand. And that demand has been growing over time. Chainlink continues to innovate and grow, and that's why it's one of my long-term investments. A lot of DeFi and applications rely on Chainlink now, and Chainlink continues to create products to serve those customers. So as a regular user, you don't need the Chainlink token at all. If you are a blockchain application and you think people are going to use these services or more applications will be created in the future, then Chainlink has the potential of increasing in price. So that's why I am invested in Chainlink. Bitcoin. Investing in Bitcoin, there's lots of reasons to do that, and it's been said so many different times that you could actually just ask ChatGPT, and that's what I did. Bitcoin, like any currency or asset, derives its value from a variety of factors, including supply and demand, perceived usefulness, and market sentiment. So with Bitcoin, there is a finite supply of 21 million. That's the total number of Bitcoins that could ever exist. And with gold, when you are comparing it as a store of value, more gold can be mined, more gold can be found. Now, we could also talk about perceived usefulness and market sentiment, but that's all right, ChatGPT. Why do people invest in Bitcoin? That is a good question, and obviously, for potential high returns, Bitcoin has made very good returns, especially when compared to gold over the last decade. I know it's only been around like 14 years, but the returns have been very good if you got in early. And people 10 years from now might say we were early today. So it really depends on your perspective whenever you are going to invest. Only invest what you can afford to lose, because investing is very risky, especially when cryptocurrency is involved. And that just applies to everything in crypto. This entire video, risky. And there's other things like diversification. You want to have a balanced investment portfolio in multiple sectors, or just go with ETFs. That's cool too. Just go with indexes. That is if you are on the more traditional side. But continuing on, Bitcoin has decentralization. Now, some would argue that Bitcoin is kind of centralized because a regular person can't mine Bitcoin with their computer. They pool all these computers together and they make these big mining groups. And it's these big mining groups that have the centralized control of Bitcoin. So it's kind of decentralized, it's kind of not. Just going to be fully honest about what's going on there. Adoption and acceptance. Yes, countries are starting to recognize Bitcoin as an asset. And if you are wondering about countries which allow cryptocurrency as legal tender, CoinMarketCap has that list. The Central African Republic and El Salvador currently recognize Bitcoin as legal tender. There's a lot of other countries also considering it, so I'm hoping that this list will get much longer in the near future. But the key thing about Bitcoin is it's completely decentralized, as in there isn't one person that owns the entire majority of Bitcoin. A lot of people bought it, a lot of people mined it, and with any other coin that comes out, it heavily benefits the creators of it. That's why with Bitcoin, you don't see a single creator that can benefit the most from it, besides Satoshi Nakamoto, the said creator of it. But that wallet hasn't moved any of its Bitcoin since a long time ago, which also makes people believe that those Bitcoins may be dead and the supply is a lot more limited than 21 million, because there have been many Bitcoins that have not moved in years. They could just be holding long term. Maybe they don't need it. Maybe they lost the keys to their wallet. And with all that, I am invested in Bitcoin for the long term, but if I'm looking for something a little more exciting and has more potential, my number one pick would be Ethereum. Ethereum. Now, what makes Ethereum amazing and a long-term investment is its tokenomics and its ecosystem. So let's start with the ecosystem. Ethereum is a blockchain where you can run decentralized applications. Those are dApps or DeFi, anything you can imagine. And with Ethereum, it is a cryptocurrency that's available pretty much everywhere. And the drawbacks to using it is it's slow and expensive, but it is secure. So there is a lot of value in Ethereum's network security. And people want to leverage that security by building a blockchain on top of Ethereum. These are called layer 2s. Now there are dozens of different layer 2 blockchains that are building on top of Ethereum, and they are securing their transactions onto Ethereum. And when you secure transactions onto Ethereum, you have to pay using Ethereum. So as all these layer 2 blockchains build on top of Ethereum, they are creating these transactions and they are spending Ethereum. And within each of these layer 2 blockchains, there could be hundreds of different decentralized applications that people are using. So to sum all of that up, there are lots of different transactions that are being processed on Ethereum. There is that demand, and to process those transactions, you need Ethereum. Now, let's talk about the tokenomics. You can get rewarded for staking your ETH, and you get 4.5%. Now, with every Ethereum transaction, a portion of that transaction fee gets burned. So if there are enough transactions on Ethereum, it becomes deflationary. And at the moment, Ethereum is deflationary. And if a token becomes deflationary, every token that you are currently holding becomes more valuable because there are less tokens available. And that's why Ethereum can become a very good long-term investment as long as it stays deflationary and people are using the Ethereum ecosystem. It is continually going to gain in value. From my top 5 cryptocurrency list, each one has a different way of generating value long term. BNB is bringing crypto regulation into multiple countries so they can onboard those users and bring more people into the BNB ecosystem. Polygon has the potential to bring blockchain technology to billions of people through their massive partnerships. Chainlink provides multiple services for people wanting to build in crypto. This includes regular businesses like banks. Yeah, banks are actually getting into crypto, and Chainlink is helping them do that. Bitcoin is a store of value that is starting to get recognized globally. As more people adopt it and accept it, it could become the reserve currency of Earth. Instead of gold, which is less convenient and harder to split up and harder to move around, in the future, gold could potentially be replaced by Bitcoin. Ethereum continues to generate value from other blockchains building on top of it and developers building within those blockchains. As more people use the Ethereum ecosystem and more transactions happen, more Ethereum gets burned, making Ethereum deflationary. So everyone holding Ethereum, their value goes up. So this video is just sharing my top 5 because people are always searching top 5 cryptocurrencies to invest in, and if they're going to find something, I want it to be educational. So if this video was helpful, feel free to like it, and if you are going to invest in cryptocurrency, look for something that is going to generate value rather than memes, or at least try to understand what you're investing in and the potential it has long term if you are investing long term. I mean, you could do short term gambles, that's a whole nother strategy, but we'll save that for another video. And if you still need a little more help, feel free to sign up for my newsletter and join my Discord. Both are completely free and can be very helpful. And with that, I hope you got your full value for today.